anniversary since Indiana has gone to the finals. But for the first time in 25 years, they're going to the NBA Finals.
Can you kind of take us through your emotions just as that final buzzer sounds and the ceremony's about to start?
It's a special feeling. To do it with this group. You know, we got to the same spot last year, fell short. And man, we just worked our tails off as a group to get back here. It's been a bumpy road with our start. And man, just really proud of the resilience of this group. We had so many different guys chip in. We've been through so many things this year. And we just kept pushing. And like I said, I'm just really proud of this group.
That's how you.
But for you guys to lose this game in the fashion, just kind of some uncharacteristic things that we haven't seen much from this group this year, how much does the way you guys lost it kind of sting the most?
Sucks, man. Simple as that. It sucks.
York to one of their most successful seasons, their first East Finals in 25 years. Remember, Tibbs led this team to the playoffs in 4 of the 5 years that he coached. He led the Knicks to consecutive 50 or more win seasons for the first time since the 90s. And now we welcome in our Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., there's a lot of folks on our set today who are pretty surprised and pretty upset, frankly, about this firing. What say you?
They should feel that way. I'm upset about it, too. I don't think this was fair to Tom Thibodeau at all. And I'm somebody that has been very critical of him in terms of his...
First, the storylines keep pumping out of the NBA. Let's bring in our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania, alongside our NBA analyst, Quentin Richardson, right now. And Shams, breaking news coming out of New York. What do you got for us?
I'm told two-time NBA head coach of the year, Mike Brown, is expected to be named the next New York Knicks head coach. And this comes after Mike Brown had his second formal interview with the Knicks this week, and this time with owner James Dolan on Tuesday. And the job now...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another What's Next on Basketball YouTube video. I am your host, as always, Jeremy. And as you saw from the first couple seconds of, or maybe it was a minute, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, that little intro. But basically, we're talking about the New York Knicks, and more specifically, just how I feel about them this season overall. As of recording right now, the New York Knicks have played 3 games so far in this new 25-26 NBA season. So yeah, it's still pretty fresh, pretty new. Currently, they're 2-1. But before we get into all that, I do also just want to talk about kind of how we got here. So this whole video is going to be in a couple parts. We're going to talk about part 1, which is really just going to talk about last season and just how well they did. Part 2 is going to be more so that off season, what were the changes the Knicks made. Part 3 will be more of just the team as a whole, just with the new team, how I feel about them. Do I think they're going to do really good? And that's also part 4. How far do I think the Knicks will make it this season? Do I think they will be contenders for the championship? Do I think they'll be second round exits, conference finals contenders, NBA finals contenders, all the stuff. And just overall, me personally, how do I feel about them and where I think they're going to go? Because obviously everyone has different opinions on them and just, where they think the Knicks are going to go. But I don't think it's too much of a shock to say that they are definitely fan favorites this season. But again, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go back to last season. Last season was honestly a really, really fun year. So just to point out a couple things, we did see that the Knicks got the 3rd seed in the East with a record of 51 wins and 31 losses. That was actually the 2nd year in a row where the New York Knicks ended up getting 50-plus wins, which was really cool. It was really cool just to see the progress of the last 4 or 5 years, how the New York Knicks have been doing from being a team that was honestly just the laughingstock of the NBA to now just honestly being one of the highest contenders to win a championship this season. It's just awesome, man. It's really cool just seeing the progress this team has made, especially from a fan like me who has seen them suffer a lot. Now, it was great. But obviously, other things that happened this year, of course, was 1, we got Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges this offseason. Karl-Anthony Towns, we ended up trading Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle for. I think they also got like a pick or two from that trade as well. And then, of course, with the Mikal Bridges trade, we traded them like 7 picks. And I think we gave them somebody. I just don't remember who it was right now. Also, they would end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals this season, which was really, really cool. This was the first time, actually, for those of you that don't know, this was the first time that the Knicks had made the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. Yeah, it's been that long since the Knicks have been arguably a great team is the word I'll use. Um it's just kind of crazy that it's been 25 years just because again, that's older than I am. So I wasn't even born since the last time they made the ECF. So to finally see them, my first time ever as a Knicks fan, just witness them go that far. Of course, as we know, it would not end the way we all thought because the Pacers would eliminate the New York Knicks in 6 games, a team that we have a long history with. And with Tyrese Halliburton and the things he was doing against us, that rivalry will not fade away anytime soon. This was actually the second year as well in a row that we would face the Indiana Pacers. So the Indiana Pacers have so far been our kryptonite when it comes to just making it far in the playoffs. First year, I think they got us out. I believe it was the second round, and we would have made the ECF if it wasn't for them. And then again, they got us out on the ECF, and we would have made the finals if it wasn't for them with their just shenanigans. And as we know, there might have been some dark magic that they were doing, but I can't confirm nor deny that. I don't know. That's just the words I've been hearing around when it came to the Pacers playoff run last season. Obviously, overall, it was a really disappointing way for the New York Knicks to go out after such an incredible season. We had Jalen Brunson win Clutch Player of the Year. Also, he ended up getting All NBA second team. Karl-Anthony Towns would also get All NBA third team. And just, it was disappointing. Like, I think they also, both of them got All-Star spots as well. I think it was just them two that ended up getting it on for the New York Knicks. We had like players like Mikal Bridges doing okay. He was doing all right. Um, there was definitely a lot of complaints some Knicks fans had of Mikal Bridges, but he ended up redeeming himself in that Celtics series where he ended up getting 2 blocks to secure 2 games actually against the Celtics. So that was really, really cool. I know OG Anunoby did really well. Miles McBride did really well. Precious Achua actually did pretty well for the time that we gave him and the minutes we gave him. Josh Hart did really well. Mitchell Robinson had a pretty good playoff run. I know he's just been he's just been up and down his career, Mitchell Robinson, and as we've seen this season as well, it's still something that is being affected. I I don't know. Uh just man, it was a fun season, bro. That was arguably the best season the New York Knicks have had in a very, very long time. I don't really know when's honestly, I think you probably can't go back until probably the 90s when it came to like the New York Knicks and how fun they were. Just Jalen Brunson leading this team, being the amazing captain he is. You had Karl-Anthony Towns shooting threes, having a pretty fun big man to watch. Mitchell Robinson doing his thing. Josh Hart just being a fun guy overall. OG Anunoby with his great defense. Same thing, Mikal Bridges. Both him and OG were just great defensive players to have on the team. Now, of course, some of you might know, I think I had mentioned it last one of my videos for last season. The New York Knicks starting 5 was not great at all. Just not a great starting 5. They had one of the worst net ratings in the NBA, which kind of led to how it ended. And then of course when you have a coach like Tom Thibodeau who wouldn't just change the lineup whatsoever, no matter what happened. It didn't matter what the player did, what kind of shots he was doing, his defense, just his work ethic, it didn't matter. As long as you were a guy that had been in the league for a couple years, he's putting you in the game. I kid you not. I'm going to put the clip somewhere here. I kid you not. I watched Cameron Payne Cameron Payne shoot up a 3 and just completely miss it. Completely just missed everything. And I'm looking at my friend just baffled. Like I didn't even know how to react to this. I think if I remember correctly, I looked at him and I was just like, did Cameron Payne just do that? And he was laughing and he was just like, yeah, he did. I Man, that was a really just frustrating playoff run as well. It was a lot of fun, the most fun I've had as a Knicks fan. But man, seeing Tibbs and just the adjustments that he didn't make and just kept trying to run the same lineups, the same game plan every single game was just I think the word I'll use is just really frustrating. And then, of course, this obviously led to what happened next in the offseason.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So now we're heading into the offseason, and there was some pretty cool stuff that happened. Obviously, number one being 3 days after they got eliminated, the New York Knicks would fire coach Tom Thibodeau from being the head coach. And before I explain just how happy I am, let me first just say this to give my respects out of the way. Tom Thibodeau was the Knicks coach for 5 seasons. From the 2020-21 season to the 24-25 season, he was the New York Knicks coach, and no matter how much you hated the guy, no matter how much you thought his adjustments were trash, were terrible, you cannot argue the fact that he was one of the best coaches the New York Knicks have had in a while. I'm not going to say of all time, but in a while. He was able to bring this team from literally a team that didn't make the playoffs in like 8 years, brought him, it was like his first or second year as the coach. He won coach of the year with the Knicks. Out of the 5 seasons he was with us, we made the playoffs 4 times. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, we had 2 seasons where we had 50 plus wins in the season. That's something I don't think any Knicks fan would have even thought of when it came to doing something like that, just because our team was just so bad for so long. And for him to come in here and just give an identity to this Knicks team, it was just great. I just want to say some of the stuff as well that he did while he was here. Like when it came to his record, he had 226 wins, 174 losses in the regular season, and then he had 24 wins and 23 losses in the playoffs, which that's kind of why we fired him, because of his playoff success. Again, he helped bring the team 4 times into the playoffs. Some of the key achievements that I wrote down as well. It was really just one, just because this was honestly the one that I felt like was the biggest thing that I had already not mentioned. And it was that, well, actually, I technically already mentioned it, but I just want to just say it again. He did help lead this team to the Eastern Conference Finals for this season. And then, of course, he also won Coach of the Year. I think that was I think it was the 2020-21 season. So I think it was his first year when he won Coach of the Year, which was pretty cool to see. I believe in his entire career, he's won it twice. One with us, and then I think the second one might have been with the Chicago Bulls. I don't believe he won coach when he was on the Timberwolves. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's really the respect. So now my honest opinion. Yeah, I just think it's kind of what's the right word to use? It's just fantastic. It's awesome seeing him fired. I'm sorry, Tibbs. Again, you were amazing coach, but I will not miss you. I will not. I'm very, very happy that you're gone. It's not to say like, oh, I hope you never get hired again. No, I hope you do get hired for whatever team that you end up going for. I did see you though. I saw you in that Celtics training, one of their like training days. I saw you there. I see what you're trying to do. He tried to make some plan to stop the Celtics, but that didn't work. That didn't work. We still won, though we lost the next game. But again, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I'm very happy they fired him. I just really felt like the points I'd already mentioned, I didn't like that he didn't make that many adjustments. I felt like he was just a very stubborn old man. And I didn't like the fact that he really didn't use his young guys and bump up their potential even higher than it could have been. Now, some guys worked, like Miles McBride, who were some of the lucky ones, but not every young guy was really able to shine with Tibbs as the coach. Other than that, the other stuff that happened was July 7th. Jordan Clarkson would get signed during free agency, which I thought was a really huge signing for them. And then, of course, they also would find their head coach in Mike Brown. I was very happy to hear this news about Mike Brown. I know he was one of the top candidates when it came to who the Knicks were looking for. And it took a while, man. I think we headed into free agency. I think it was 3 days in before we finally found our head coach, which was really shocking that it took him that long. But hey, we got him now, and he's more of an offensive coach, which I feel like was great for the Knicks, just because I don't think the Knicks are really a defensive team like they were about maybe it was like 2 years ago. They're just not that same team anymore. They're a very offensive team, which does worry me a bit. Just because, I've told you guys many times, I think defense wins championships. So to not have a team that's very, very big on defense does worry me, but hopefully they prove me wrong. I think Mike Brown overall is just a great coach. I liked what he did with the Kings. It sucked he got fired, but hey, now we got him. Other things about this offseason, Mikal would sign a contract extension, 4 years, 150 mil. We would also get Gershon Yabusele. He agreed to a 2-year deal. And just, yeah, I think those were some of the big names. I know they signed some other guys, but I believe those were the ones that were like the big key pieces. We also did get Malcolm Brogdon, but he would retire. So that kind of sucked. I was personally frustrated with that because I was hoping the Knicks will go after Russell Westbrook. I thought he could be a great player off the bench, but that didn't happen, and now he's with the Kings. So it is what it is. But overall, good job. You guys had a really good offseason, Knicks. I think you guys made the additions that you needed to do. I think we got a great head coach that has the same kind of mindset that our team does. And I think they're just going to do great overall. But speaking of the team, let's head towards not how, but let's just look at this team. All right. So once again, as I already said, I think this team looks great. I think this is the most complete they've ever been. This entire time as me being a Knicks fan. I love Jalen on the 1. I think it's probably going to be maybe Mikal at the 2, OG at the 3. If this was like the full lineup without injuries, OG at the 3, maybe Cat at the 4, and Robinson at the 5 would probably be the actual starting 5. Now, obviously, Mitchell Robinson is hurt right now, and honestly, I'm okay with them not playing him and trying to force him to play, mainly because we need him later on in the season. We don't really need him right now. I like Ariel Hukporty, and he was a guy that I was hoping to get more minutes, so he's finally getting that. We have like another center that we signed that looked really good. He was in the G League. He's like mad brolic, and he's just like, he looked really good in G League, so I think he could be another good guy to put. And then it looks like we're also going to be playing OG at the 5 sometimes here and there too. So, hey, if it works, it works. Speaking of that as well, when it comes to like other players, let's talk about the bench. I think the bench looks amazing. You have Jordan Clarkson, Miles McBride, Gershon Yabusele, Tyler Kolek, Ariel Hukporty, which I know, again, he's the starting guy for center, but technically he's on the bench once Mitch comes back. And then you have Pakom Diade. He already great players to have. I think it looks way better than it did last season. Oh, we also have Landry Shamet as well. So overall, just awesome to see. The starters, I think, look just ready to compete for a chip this offseason. And I'm really, really hoping that, obviously, we might not see it in the first couple games, but I really hope by the end of this season, Mike Brown unlocks the full potential when it comes to this Knicks offense. Because again, he is an offensive coach. So I'm hoping that with this team that is more heavily offense, that he can truly unlock the full potential. And that goes with all the players, not just the starters, the bench guys too. If we can have everyone on our bench just making threes, just making buckets, it doesn't even have to be threes, just making shots. If we can go into a game where each player on our bench was able to finish the game where they had 7 shot attempts and they made 5 out of the 7, I see that as a huge success, which is what I'm hoping Mike Brown does. This is his first year though, and I know it sucks for him because that's a lot of pressure to put on you for your first year, because there's just no mistakes that you can make, especially on this team in New York, which I know Philly fans try to take that title of being the most like passionate fan base and stuff. I don't really know who the most passionate fan base is, but I can tell you for a fact, if I had to choose one, it's New York. And you might say it's me being biased, but at least when it comes to basketball, New York is the most passionate fan base. We do not like when you're bad. All right, it's a joke that a lot of superstars make. They cheer you when you're great. They boo you when you suck, and that's just how it is cuz we're not here to watch trash guys. And that goes for the coach. If the coach does bad, we are going to complain. And hopefully Mike Brown, doesn't get that and he ends up leading this team to a championship in the near future. Hopefully though, Tibbs, when it comes to his defensive mindset, that does stay in the brains of these guys that were here during Tibbs's time as the head coach. But again, I'm pretty certain that this team will be more offensive heavy than defense. But I guess we'll have to see on that. So finally, the last topic we're going to talk about today is how far do I think this team will go? But as I already said at the beginning of this video, as of me recording, the Knicks are 2-1. They just lost to the Miami Heat in a pretty frustrating game that me personally, I think we really could have won. It was just a lot of mistakes when it came to poor shot attempts, poor defense, some questionable lineups, but again, Mike Brown, he's a new coach, so he's just trying to use all the pieces he has to figure out what lineups work with what. And I'm not going to, complain about that. It's the first loss of the season. We're not going to go 82-0 like some fans might have thought. But yeah, besides that game, I think they looked great so far this season. The other two games we won against the Cavs and Celtics looked awesome. Opening night was really awesome to see them get that win because the Cavs are really the only team that people are looking at when it comes to teams that could rival the New York Knicks. So getting a win from them first game of the season is absolutely huge. Not only that, I actually learned this after the game. We didn't beat them at all last season, like at all. Not one game. So to get a win first game of the season against them is awesome. It really shows just the improvements this team has made. Now, some people are going to try to discredit them and say, oh, well, Darius Garland wasn't there. Shut up. Anyways, some issues, though, that I do still see with this team is, again, like I mentioned, bad with guarding the three. I don't know why this team is so bad at guarding the three. It's like one of the most important things you need on a team right now in the NBA because everybody shoots threes. So to be bad at guarding the three is just ridiculous. The second thing I have here is just, again, poor defense sometimes. I still see it here and there where they just make some sloppy plays that don't really need to happen. Just guard your guy. I hate when this Knicks team tries to double team on someone that doesn't need to get double teamed. And then they let the guy go by himself to the three because, again, we're bad at guarding the three. So they shoot the ball up and it goes in. And then they're all just looking at each other like, oh, what? How did he do that? And it's just like, no, like, just guard your guy. Just stop doing bad defense. The other thing I put here was just putting shots up that they honestly don't need to put up. Again, that was the same problem I saw not just in the Miami Heat game, but for all three games, especially Karl-Anthony Towns, where I would see them just do a shot, and I'm like, you're not gonna make it from there. You don't make those shots. And again, sure enough, you just see the ball just fall down, and I'm just like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have done that shot. And the key guys that do that is Karl-Anthony Towns. Landry Shamet, for some reason, has really just been trying to force some shots up that is just, no, that we can't be doing that. And then the number one guy, Jalen Brunson. That's right. Our captain has been very notorious for putting shots up that he did not need to do. I don't know why. He tries to play like hero ball a lot. Now, I haven't seen it as much this season, and if I did, it actually ended up working. But there are times when he does hero ball and it just doesn't work, but he just tries to force it. And I'm like, Jalen, you have other teammates. Pass it to somebody else. But other than that, there's really nothing else bad. I know I'm talking about bad stuff. I'm going to end it on a good note. That's why I left the positives for the end. But I just wanted to mention those are some things that I just feel like needed to get mentioned, because I know some people are going to look at it and be like, oh, Jeremy, why are you talking about this now? It's 3 games into the season. Why are you already so stressed about the team? Because this is what happened last season. We had things throughout the season that were problems. No one wanted to worry about it because they said, oh, well, when the playoffs come around, they'll change all this. And they didn't. And that's why they lost. So I need them to fix these things early so it's not a problem when we're heading down later in the season. But again, I want to end this off in a positive note. And the positive note is just the great ball movement, good playmaking, very good rotation. The first 11 games, we saw a 11-man rotation. We would never get that with Tibbs. Never, ever. I really like the playmaking, as I said. The ball movement was like insane, just to go back on that as well. Like, I was seeing them do passes that was just like, whoa, like, is this the New York Knicks? Like, what's going on here? I thought the starters have been looking pretty good. They've all had at least one game where it was a bit like questionable, but other than that, they've looked great. And the vibes in New York right now, they're just immaculate. Like, everyone looks happy to be there. They're doing this tradition now where like the Knicks get like, I think it's like a construction hat and some Timbs. And for like at the end of the game, I think it's for like whoever was the best defender. Just overall, MSG, it's just rocking as always. It's such a great arena. I love just seeing the fans get so excited and so hyped. It's awesome seeing like celebrities go there to see how the Knicks are doing. And it's just awesome, man. I don't know what else to say. Just great vibes, great team, great coach, great players, great city. Just what more can you ask for New York? All right, I know I said the last thing was the last part, but this is actually the last part, and it's the big question. How far do I think the Knicks will go? Now, if I had to give specific answers to that, I will say this. I think the Knicks will get the first seed, and I think their record will be 57 wins and 25 losses. Now, I know some people are already dropping the 60 burgers, saying, oh, the Knicks are going to win 60. They're going to win 60. No one's going to stop them. I'm not going to go that far yet, but I do think they will have a really, really good season. I don't see the Knicks losing too many games unless something horrendous happens. So I'm going to say about 57. I think the Knicks, once again, could take the East. As of right now, there really is no team I'm looking at that's like, oh, I think that this team's going to stop the Knicks. There's really nobody. The East is very, very weak this season. Being 3 games in and seeing how the other guys are doing, I don't think they're really much of a worry. I think our biggest issue is going to be how they do against the West. And that's why I don't know if they'll win the NBA championship. I will tell you for sure, they're going to make the finals. I believe that's how far they'll make it, is the NBA finals. But will they win it? I have no idea, because 3 games in and we haven't seen them face one Western Conference team yet, especially the big guys like the Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets, Thunder. What's another team that's really big right now? Maybe the Warriors is another one, Timberwolves. We haven't seen them face any of those guys, so I can't really tell if they're going to do good against them. But overall, though, I think this could easily be the best season the Knicks have had ever. This might be the best season they've had since when they won the championship in the 70s, if that's how it ends with them winning a championship. The Knicks have everything it takes to win. They have the East wide open for them to take. They have the players to help them win. They have the coach that can help lead this team. It's just great. Don't be shocked if Jalen Brunson is in talks about being top 5 in the league. Don't be shocked if you see a lot of players on the Knicks win some awards. I'm talking about All NBA, All Defense, All-Star spots, maybe even MVP of Jalen Brunson, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen. But, I can always hope. Even DPOY. And for those of you who are wondering, who do I think is going to win DPOY? There's 2 players. One, if he plays enough games, I think Mitchell Robinson could win it. And 2, OG Anunoby. I think OG Anunoby could really win Defensive Player of the Year. I've been liking what I've been seeing from him this season, so I think that could be a really positive note there. But yeah, don't be shocked if they go crazy. I think this is going to be a season to remember for the ages. But that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really tried to do as much research as possible to get some stats right on here. That's why you kept seeing me look down on here. But I'm just excited, man. I can't wait for this season and how it's going to end. This is just a fun time to be a Knicks fan. And I think I mentioned this in the last video. If you are looking for a team to watch, please watch the New York Knicks. You will not regret it. You're going to love the players there as much as I do. I know every year we've been saying it of, oh, this is our year. This is our year. But I really do believe that this could be the year that the Knicks win it all, man. They just look great. And it's going to be awesome. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you if you made it this far. As always, I'm your host, Jeremy, and this is the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel. See you guys.